What up?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Dang, are y'all here?
Yes.
Good morning.
Like in English, in like the English language, I don't know if y'all know this, but when someone greets you with a hello, good morning, what's up, hey, happy Sunday, or Monday, or how's it going? It is customary to say something back. You could say, it's Monday. You could. I'm gonna hate it, but you could say that, you know? But it is customary to at least say something back to the person who says, good morning, or what's up. So we'll try that one more time. What's up? Oh, dang, y'all alive today. That's what's up. That's what's up. So good to see y'all. So good to be here. Let's get to today's announcements. This mic is so high. I feel like I gotta like stand up, you know? So high. I look like one of those people who don't talk into a microphone and they have no idea what they're doing, you know? So they're just like, and then when I was 17, I went to the mall. It's like, just speak up. All right, here we go. Announcements for today. Lainey Parker, Hannah and Jacob's baby girl, was born last week on Friday, and their meal train is officially set up and starts Monday the 6th. So next week we won't be here in person. So we're announcing this now. Yes, the text and the link will go out. If you want to scan it right now, you can scan the QR code. But their meal train is officially set up. And so for those of you who would like to support them and help them out over the next however many weeks with a meal, please sign up. Sign up at least once. And if you cannot sign up to make dinner, send them some money so they can have dinner delivered. So,
Put on there their Venmo and their PayPal, because if you actually donate through the meal train, they take a 5% fee. So like someone donated money already and it took $20 off the $200 donation. So I added their Venmo and their PayPal on the actual description, so you could just send it straight to them if you wanted to give them delivery money or some grocery money.
Dirty. So all the information is there on the website. So you can scan it now. We'll probably send it maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll send a link out to everybody who is receiving text messages. And you can, what was I gonna say? Oh, you can sign up. And again, everything is there, food restrictions, all the things. Next Sunday, our first church visit. Kingswood Methodist Church, Bill Case, my boy. I love him so much. Dang, I love him so much. Yeah, we'll be at Kingswood. That service starts at 9:30 a.m. That is 45 minutes before we start. See what I did there? So I know y'all gonna see 9:30, but what y'all are gonna remember is it's 45 minutes before we start, and then y'all gonna be on time. So there's that.
Oh, I thought you just meant because we started late today.
Yeah, I mean, well, we start late all the time, but the general populace does not get here until about 10, 15, you know, so yeah. So Kingswood starts 45 minutes before we do at 9:30. So whether you remember 45 minutes before or 9:30, we'll be there next week. So that will also go out in text message probably Wednesday or Thursday, and then again on Saturday evening. So you can plan accordingly going into Saturday night when you go to bed. And then I'll probably say it again Sunday morning, like, hey, don't forget, there's nobody at our building. So that is next week. We will take communion there next week. It is tear and dip, or intinction, as they call it. If you've ever been part of Emmaus or done communion at Emmaus, it's like that. So that is next week, 2600 North Main, 2 parking lots, north and south side. Park where you like. Yeah, and that's where we'll be. That's what's going to happen. Softball is coming. It is official. We are having another softball, Church League softball season this year. If you would like to play, please text softball to the church number, and that will get you wrapped into the softball specific text group. So when I start sending text messages for practices and all those things, you will get those. So please make sure you sign up if you want to play. Also, if you want to play, please make sure you have played before, because we got to win this year. We have to. So I know last year I was like, yo, we can't have anybody who's lame and short, is what I said, in short. Like, I need them dogs, you know. And then we ended up losing twice in the playoffs when it mattered the most. Really bad, too. So, it happens, you know. Fallon, don't roll your eyes. You know what? Listen, no. Time out. Only people who say it's about fun are people who don't play. One time, my brother, he was in like 3rd grade. They lost in the playoffs, basketball. He's crying in the car, and my mom went off on him. I was like, Mom, I mean, I didn't say it out loud because I wasn't about to get gone off on, but I was like, yo, he's passionate. Like, let the man live. He crying because they lost. Fallon, like my mom over here rolling her eyes. Hey, sorry, I'm passionate about something and it matters to me, okay? Okay? Yeesh. Glad I'm not preaching today, because my whole sermon would now be about passion of things. You know, it's okay to cry, you know? But I'm just doing announcements. So there's that. All that to say, sign up for softball if you want to play.
If you want to win.
If you want to win. We're not here for fun. Fun is, that's what board games are for. Board games are for fun. Cards, you know, fellowship, not church league softball. All right, update on all the things and what the rest of the year will look like for Oasis. After this Sunday, we officially have 8 Sundays in the building. Yeah, 2 in May, 3 in June, 1 in July, 2 in August. So officially what we're going to do Yeah, we have 8 more Sundays in this building. We have a lot of church visits coming up. In addition to that, we have baptism in July. That will be the second week of July, July 14th. And then August, our last Sunday in the building will be August 11th. And that will be the Sunday that we will stay after church and clean up all the things and tear down all the things. And then Labor Day weekend, where we normally have a picnic, we will not have that picnic and instead have the last service / picnic on September 8th at Hillcrest Park. So that is how that's gonna go. In short, everything I just said is on the website. It is updated on the website. In addition to that, we talked to Paul this week, and Paul has very generously cut our rent from $350 a Sunday down to $150 a Sunday. And so with that being cut down and with us not being here, our rent has gone down a lot for the remainder of our time here. So, and he is not charging for cleaning the building either. Paul is really the man. He is really him, as they say. So that is that in a nutshell, church-wise, where we're headed, what's going on. Again, all of this stuff is updated on the website. So if you go to jesusistight.com, you will see the updated schedule for May and then everything for the rest of the summer. So that's what that is going to look like. Lastly, if you're not receiving text messages from Oasis, and this is a big week for information, please text T to 575-222-8985, and that will keep you in the loop of what is happening, what we're doing, when, where, and how. Any questions about any of those things? All right, without further ado, I'm going to hand the microphone and the podium over to Roland Chavez.
Good. Good morning. Ah, man. All right. I'm nervous. That makes me feel better. All right. So the title of the message today is Slow Down. I went back and forth a lot about this, and well, I'll get into that in a little bit, because yeah, okay. If I get on Proclaim on my phone, can I just move the slides? Sorry, guys.
Whichever is easiest.
I'll just have you do it. Okay, we're good to go now. Okay, so we're going to start in 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7. So, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. So, when we look at these two verses, usually, at least in my experience, it's usually just 7, casting all your anxieties on him, because he cares for you. And what we're doing here is that's not even the start of a sentence. It's all one long sentence. And so it doesn't really give context, but when you read, humble yourselves, therefore, under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. Basically what Peter is telling us is that we have to be humble, and that at the proper time God will exalt you. But he's telling us in order to be humble that we have to cast all our anxieties on him. So the act of actually casting the anxiety on God is the act of humility. Yeah. And I think that gets lost a lot because at least I know I was lost. I kind of always saw it as humble yourselves, God will exalt you, then you can cast your anxieties on him. No, it's not that. It's cast your anxieties on him as the act of humility, and he will exalt you. Okay. So what are we doing when we're not casting our anxiety on him? We're saying, I got this. I got it. We don't. And it's a big lack of trust. And I am I do it all the time. I got this. And then continually, I don't got this. And I'm starting to learn, though. I'm starting to learn a little bit. We're putting more trust in ourselves than we are in God. When I say that out loud, it sounds really crazy. Like, he created everything. And holy moly, okay. He created this whole everything. And we think we can trust ourselves more. I'm getting off topic. So, in order to get to where we want to go, we've got to slow down. And I realized this. Ooh, that's not good. So I decided I was going to start running. And I thought, I'm an athlete, I can do this. And so I decided to do that. And I got 1 mile, and it was really hard. And I finally worked up to 2 miles. But I couldn't see myself getting past the 2 miles, and I was just exhausted every single time. And then I was on YouTube trying to learn how to run. And this guy was like, if you're tired, just slow down. And I was like, slow down. Okay. So I went out to run, and I ran 3 miles. I went a whole mile extra. I was like, wow, that was really crazy. I just went slower. I wasn't worried about the time. I didn't look at the time on the watch. I was just like, I'm just going to go as far as I can. We'll see what happens. 3 miles. A week later, I went 4 miles. 2 weeks later, I ran 6 miles. So I realized, and it didn't click until a few days ago, oh, this is translating to my spiritual life as well. You're going too fast. You need to slow down. But it really hit me right in between the eyes. Also, after the first time I ran 4 miles, I woke up the next morning and decided to try and do it again, faster, because I did it. I was like, oh, I got this now. So I reverted back to what I was doing before. My hip flexors were hurting. I couldn't run for 3 days after that. It was a whole thing. So the point is to slow down and to keep that slower pace. So sometimes we want to get to the destination so badly that we push too hard, and that'll create disappointment, fatigue, and burnout. And I think we've all experienced that at some point. Also, when you're pushing too much, you've got nothing left to give. You're exhausted. You've got nothing left. And sometimes we're pushing so hard that we don't even know exactly what anxieties that we're supposed to cast on God because we don't take the time to process what is going on. We say, okay, God, I'm going to cast my anxiety on you. Well, what exactly are we casting? Well, we don't even know. We're moving so fast. We're getting so in our head about things that we don't even know. We're just nervous and we feel bad and we just want it to go away. Yet we're not slowing down enough to take the steps in order to get to where we can feel better. So, what does slowing down look like? Following the example of Jesus. Many, many times he will step away. If you're reading the gospel, he will step away to be with the Father. He will remove himself from the crowd to be with the Father. So I'm good for the next one. So Luke 5:15 and 16. But now even more, the report about him went abroad, and great crowds gathered to hear him and to be healed of their infirmities. But he would withdraw to desolate places and pray. So this one specifically was like, wow. So he had just healed somebody. He told the guy, don't go tell people yet. But the guy did. And all these crowds gathered to hear him and to be healed of their infirmities. So we're talking about Jesus here. All these people are going, they want to be healed. But he withdrew to desolate places to pray, to a desolate place to pray. That is really crazy to me, because when we think about Jesus, we think he's going to fix all of us. He's going to do this right away and do this right. Like, he knew that he had to go fill up. He had to remove himself so that he could go be filled with the Spirit, so that he could do these things, so he could heal people, so he could. But he knew the time and place. He didn't overexert himself just to make the people happy. He knew exactly what he needed to do, and it makes sense. He's Jesus, and he knows better what to do than all of us. But he also gave us the example to follow, and so that's the point here. But you could imagine the people thinking, wow, I've had this infirmity my whole life. I can't wait to be healed. And then he removes himself. The disappointment is crazy, but Jesus disappointed people. And not to be mean, but because he knew that he needed to be with the Father. And so he did. Whenever he knew he did, he did. And this is only one example of him removing himself to go be with the Father. He would, before the sun would rise. And I'm not 100% sure, but I think there's another instance where he was healing people also, and he removed himself. So
it's remarkable. That's right when, at the time, it seems like it's the most important to be serving or to be people-pleasing or to be working harder. And that I can see that point you're making is that was the time. Everybody is there, and it's the heat of the climax of the moment, and he would steal away.
still,
Take time.
that's crazy to me. It's really crazy. But looking at it, it makes sense. He had to slow down. He had to say, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I need to go do this. He had his priorities straight. Wow, I'm moving really fast. This isn't going to be very long. Man. When I get nervous, I start talking fast. Okay. There you go, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. Dang, I didn't even see that coming. Ooh. See, this is what happens. We don't even realize that we're doing it.
That's so true that it's so natural.
It's so natural.
It is so natural to just forego what the scripture's telling us to do, and even the examples Jesus set. It's just like,
Even with Sabbath. Even with Sabbath.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to get to that. Yes. So, here, I'll just tell you all this. I was supposed to preach last weekend. And I was going to do Psalm 23. I was really excited about it. And I have a lot going on right now. I'm taking 8-week classes. There's just a whole bunch going on. Anyways, I did not slow down. And that caused me to, at 3:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, to text Rafer and be like, I can't do this. Because it was 3:30 in the morning, and I'm trying to prep a sermon, and I'm freaking out. I keep typing stuff in, and I delete it because it's not good enough, and I'll type something else in, and I delete it because it's not good enough, and I did not slow down, and it ended up hurting me. If I would have just taken the time, maybe earlier in the week, or prioritized this over that, I probably would have been able to do it. But because of that, now I'm able to talk about this now, because it hit me right in between the eyes, and it was like, this is what you did. Or what you didn't do. And so I wanted to give that example of you just have to slow down. And continually, you just told me, slow down. Even throughout this week, I caught myself doing it again. Even yesterday, as I was finishing this up, I was putting more pressure, and it was like, stop. You got to slow down. And I did. And here we are. So it ended up working out this time. But I thought I'd give you guys that example of if you don't slow down, you're not even going to make it to the destination. You run out of gas. You don't even get there. So how do we slow down? Well, one, we separate ourselves from the crowd and go be with the Father. And two, we have to prioritize rest. So, good on the next one. Matthew 8:24. And behold, there arose a great storm on the sea, so that the boat was being swamped by the waves, but he was asleep. He was asleep. He was sleeping. It's really funny to imagine this, but like this boat, they're in the middle of this giant storm. I mean, getting thrashed around in the water, swamped by the waves, and Jesus is sleeping. Like, I don't even know how. Like, that's just a crazy thought. That's a crazy image. But he was tired, so he took a nap. He was sleeping. And they're freaking out. But he was like so good at prioritizing his rest that he didn't even, like, he woke up and was like, what are y'all freaking out about? Then he told the storm, shh, and it stopped. But he was prioritizing his rest. He was sleeping. Oh man. In the middle of a storm. Like, I can't even sleep during like a rainstorm. Like, he was in the boat and it was moving and he was asleep. They had to wake him up. The storm didn't wake him up. They had to go shake him awake.
Probably getting wet,
Probably, like, that's how much he was like, I'm gonna sleep right now.
is he on top, on the top of it, or is it underneath?
That's what I don't know what the boat looked like, but like I imagine it wasn't a ship, so like it was just open on the top, and he was just laying in it, sleeping. It's crazy, but he prioritized. And again, this is only one example of him resting, but to me it's the best example because he knew all this was going on, yet he was taking a nap. He knew there was nothing to worry about, and he was prioritizing his sleep. Man. And then, next one. I actually got to do Psalm 23. I was really excited about this because this is what I was going to talk about. So this is Psalm 23. David is comparing us, the sheep, to the Father, the shepherd. And he says, he makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. So he doesn't ask me to lay down. No. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He's saying, go to sleep, rest, stop, slow down. He leads me beside still waters. I don't know if y'all have been by still waters, but like in green grass, you know, for humans, but this is for a sheep, so it's like really great. But
Sheep won't drink from moving water.
oh, that makes it even better.
They will not drink if the waters are moving. They won't drink the water.
For real?
Yeah.
So now they're hydrated, sleeping good.
That's why the point is still waters, because they're so skittish that the moving water freaks them out, so they don't drink it. So even in getting you to drink, he's like, hey, let me give you your preferred way of water so you can drink it.
Also, I'm gonna do this because I didn't. It's Psalm 23, so like, this is crazy because this is what I was gonna talk about. But I think it's 5. He said he anoints my head with oil. Like shepherds actually anoint sheep with oil because it keeps the bugs and other things from getting in their head. Like sheep will literally, they go crazy if they get like bugs in their ears, and they'll like bang their heads on rocks and stuff until they die. But putting the oil on their head protects them. And oh gosh, it's so good. Why couldn't I just do this last weekend? It's so easy. Anyways, I didn't want to get too far off topic there, but that was like, it's just, yeah, man, all of it. So this is not a suggestion. He's not saying maybe lie down. It's like, no, he makes me lie down in green pastures because he knows that we can't function correctly without rest. We all know this. We've all been there where we can't do anything because we didn't sleep good the night before, or we haven't slept good for a whole month, you know. Eyes are red, like you just can't even function. You don't want to talk to people. You don't know how to have a conversation with people because you're so mad, you're so angry, and it's because you didn't sleep.
Sometimes he just shuts you down.
It just shuts you down. You can't function. Yep. So we are commanded to rest. The 4th commandment is to keep the Sabbath. The Sabbath is completely about rest. And like we've been practicing that, and it is really, really hard. Right now, it is really, really hard because there are so many things going on. So you don't want to slow down because you don't want to get behind. Yet when we find that rest, when we find that peace, it's like so uplifting. And you do have like energy, like the next day, like, oh man, you feel so good. And it is really hard to slow down because I'll catch myself thinking about, okay, I'm resting right now, but what am I going to do as soon as this is over?
Right.
I'm going to do this, this, and that, and then I'm not resting. But he literally commands us to rest.
Yeah.
He's telling us to take a nap.
Yeah.
Just take a nap. Like it's,
Just getting close to Jesus.
and,
Gotta take a nap.
and it's an act of humility. It's an act of, like, he's telling us to do it. It's not a bad thing. Is it what? Here's some food. Take a nap. Eat and take a nap. He fell asleep under a bush
Yeah.
because he was so tired. God told him, hey, just eat and have a nap.
Yeah.
Like if we could just do that, we'd be fine. Oh, man. So the hardest part about all of this is the patience part of it. It's so hard, and I'm a very impatient person. For example, I ordered something and it is not here yet, but it told me it was going to be here on Monday, but I check it every day anyway. No, it'll be here on Monday.
Monday as in tomorrow?
Yeah, but I've been checking it all last week. Like since Tuesday of last week, I was like, well, maybe it'll be faster this time. I'm very impatient.
As in it's late, it's still about 8 minutes.
Oh, no, it was, yeah. No, it's not late. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just saying, I can be very impatient. So this whole thing is hard for me. This, like thinking about all this was great. This was also, I also know Rayford gets like really excited when he's up here because like whenever you're preparing a sermon, you're like really diving deep in this stuff, and it's like super eye-opening. It's really like, and I know most of you know because of when we did Proverbs and you taught, like you really dive deep into that, and like, so I definitely understand why you're getting so excited up here. I definitely understand. But the hardest part of this is patience. Okay, so I'm good for the next one. So Ecclesiastes 7:8, better is the end of a thing than its beginning, and the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. So yes, the start of the race is grueling. You're like, I've got so far to go. But better is the end than the beginning. The result is always worth it. The end is always worth it. And yeah, you might have to slow down. You have to be patient. It's tough, but the end result is really worth it. Hi, Bub. What are you doing? I love this kid so much. She's gonna hang out up here. But yes, the end is better than the beginning. And the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Whew. That is a really nice verse. But again, we're talking about being proud and what that looks like. Well, it's not casting your anxiety on him, right? So the patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Okay. So when we look back at 1 Peter 5, 6, and 7, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of God, so that at the proper time he may exalt you, casting all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. So the other part of this verse is, at the proper time he may exalt you. That proper time, we're not going to know when it is, and that makes it really hard. It really, really makes it hard. Because sometimes we're running this race that we don't know when it's going to end. When you're running and you're like, I know my end point. When you're doing something, you know, I know when it's going to be finished. It can be easier because you know. When you don't see the end, holy moly. It's overwhelming. But that's why we have to slow down, because we don't want to burn out. We don't want to fatigue. We don't want to be... What's up? What do you got? You got dinosaur and a duck. Oh, thank you, dude. Yes, that's my water. But yes, God's timing is perfect, whether we think so or not, because a lot of the times we want it to happen now. We want what we want. We want the package to be here earlier than it's supposed to be here. It's a process.
We actively just had this conversation last night.
Really?
About when will the
That's all you can do.
That's literally all.
And it's easier.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming. And swim at a slower pace.
And swim at a slow pace.
But yeah, I mean, it's the process of sanctification. We talked about this. It probably never ends. I mean, sanctification is never ending. You may have certain seasons in your life that do come to an end, but the whole process, it keeps going. And if you don't slow down, you're going to burn out. And I think we've all done it. We know what that's like, and it's not fun. Because you got to pick yourself back up. You got to start all over again, and it's hard. And you can do it because this door is always open. It doesn't shut. God is not saying, if you don't do it now, you're not going to get the chance to again. No, it's always there. So we always have the opportunity to do this whenever it's time. But do it now. If you can't do it right now.
So in that process of casting your anxieties and staying connected to the rest that you receive in Christ, then you're ready when the proper time comes that He exalts, or that you have to go to work, or that you have to stand up and have an answer, or that you start seeing results because you stay rested and connected to Him with care.
Connected to Him through the whole thing. And that's the biggest thing, is just staying connected to Him through the thing. And if you do that, you will move slower. Right. Naturally, you will move slower. It's so good. But patience teaches humility by forcing us to relinquish control. I mean, that's what it does. Yeah. Oh, it's so hard. It makes me like, talking about being patient. Because I've been told to be patient my whole life. But I do. I have to. Man, I went really fast, but that's all I got. So, I guess, take a nap. Everybody go home and take a nap today.